Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered and we're doing another armor video. Today it's going to be the top 10 best heavy armors. So if you haven't seen it already, we've previously done a top 10 best light armors video and we're going to be doing roughly the same thing in this video. It's going to be only complete sets, so all 5 pieces have to be named accordingly to match the same set. That means that I will be skipping variants where it's basically the same thing but you swap out a cuirass for a unique legendary cuirass of the same armor type. I'm not doing anything like that today. So if you want to see stuff like that, let me know in the comment section. But with all that being said, let's dive on in and start off with number 10. And at number 10, we of course have the Dwarven Armor, which you can see is made up of all 5 pieces, matching the Dwarven naming nomenclature. This one has a total armor value of 60. Keep in mind that when we don't have anything equipped, we have a base armor value of 15. I'm not going to be showing that every single time, but keep that in mind that 15 is the base. So when we have all of these pieces equipped, we have an armor value of 60, and of course, aesthetically speaking, we've got this very thick, heavy-looking Dwemer design here, so it's very appropriate lore-wise. I've never been a huge fan of it. It's a bit much for me, a little garish, but yeah, it's definitely Dwemer. So with all that being said, we have, if you want to get your hands on this one, I should say, it starts appearing once you, the character, get to level 6 or higher, you will start finding Dwarven armor and weapons around the map. So that's all leveled lists. So the most reliable places to grind this out early game and loot it is once you've reached level 6, any marauder bosses or vampires or boss chests. So one location that is fairly reliable is Fort Cold Rock, north of Bruma. You can usually get yourself a full set of it there once you've gotten to level 6. As far as buying it, by level 10, both the Best Defense in the Imperial City and Hammer and Tongs in Skingrad will routinely stock pieces of Dwarven armor. So between them, you can usually buy it. So like I said, there's lots of ways to loot it or buy it, and it becomes fairly common because it's a lower level suit of armor. But that being said, it is better than quite a few other ones in the game, so that's why it takes the number 10 spot. And yeah, that's number 10. Let's move on to number 9. Coming in at number 9, we have the heavy variant of the Imperial Dragon Armor, which you can see we have equipped on us here. This one is, of course, made up of all 5 matching pieces. Stats on this one, once again, we're at 60, so it is directly on par with the Dwarven Armor. That being said, I placed it ahead because I think it looks significantly better. As far as how to get your hands on this one, it is linked to the main story, so you will have to solve the Oblivion Crisis if you want to get your hands on this one. All you have to do is finish the main quest, Light the Dragon Fires, and talk to Chancellor Okato, and then wait 14 in-game days and collect the suit from the Prison District Armory. Keep in mind, this one is automatic, so whichever armor skill you have at the time that is higher, light or heavy armor, you will automatically get that set. So if you want to get the heavy variant, you have to make sure your heavy armor skill is higher than your light armor skill when you talk to Chancellor Okato after the Light the Dragonfires quest. Otherwise, it will automatically be whichever one is the highest. And then, like I said, you just have to wait 14 in-game days. I know sometimes it feels like you're never getting there, but after 14 in-game days, you will get a notification that says to go there and collect it, as well as a quest marker. So as far as all that is being said, it's not too hard to get your hands on this one because the main story of Oblivion is not very long or very difficult, but it is a pretty sweet looking suit of armor, even though it still only has the stats of Dwarven armor. So that is the number 9 spot. Let's move on to number 8. Coming in at number 8, we have Orcish Armor with an armor value of 63, so you can see we have a full matching set here. I actually really like the aesthetics of Orcish Armor in Oblivion. I never really liked it in Skyrim. I always thought that was a really ugly design, but in Oblivion I do like it. It's got sort of a Eastern or maybe Kievan Rus sort of influence, as well as obviously, you know, some fantasy influence to it. But aesthetically speaking, I think it's one of the more unique looking base sets in the entire game, so I've always liked Orcish Armor. And at 63, it is just slightly better stat-wise than both the Dwarven Armor and the Heavy Imperial Dragon Armor. As far as getting your hands on a full set of Orcish Armor, it starts spawning once you get to level 10 or higher, and you can find it on Marauder Chiefs and Vampires in forts like Fort Blueblood, which is near Leowyn, and then Ash over in the Westwold, and that type of stuff respawns every 3 days. So if you want to grind it out, you head to those locations and you can probably get yourself a full set as long as you're higher than level 10. Otherwise, heavy armor merchants start carrying pieces once you get to level 12. So keep that in mind that it's not the same level for where it'll start spawning in the world and where it'll start spawning in your stores. But it's fairly simple to get your hands on a full set of this armor. So that's number 8, Orcish Armor. Let's move on to number 7. Coming in at number 7, we have a special variant of the steel armor called the Blackwood Armor, and this This one also has an armor value of 63, so it's the same as the Orcish Armor. I placed it higher just because I really much prefer the aesthetic. I love the steel armor. It's one of the few suits of armor in the game that is mostly, you know, for the most part, fairly well done, historically speaking. It's obviously got some mistakes, but for a historically authentic looking suit of armor, the steel armor comes pretty close. So I definitely like the Blackwood Armor for that. But that being said, the Blackwood Armor isn't just a name for it. It does have much better stats than the regular steel armor. Like I said, putting it on par with the Orcish Armor. As far as getting your hands on it, this one is one that you'll get if you're doing the Fighters Guild line, or you can get during the quest Trolls of Forsaken Mine. You'll be looting this from Fallen Blackwood Trooper for a pristine full set. So if you're doing that quest line, just make sure when you kill a guy wearing, you know, one of the Blackwood guards, when you kill him and he looks like he's wearing a full set of steel armor, make sure you grab that, because it is a full set of Blackwood armor, and it's significantly better than regular steel armor. So that's how you get your hands on this one. And if you want to get more than one set of it for whatever reason, you can actually do that before starting the infiltration quest. You can provoke a Blackwood mercenary in their Leyawiin headquarters, and you can actually get duplicates then, you know, by killing them. So the Blackwood armor is significantly better than the steel armor, and it is on par with Orcish armor stat-wise, but aesthetically, I love it. It's one of my favorite sets in the entire game. So that is number 7. Let's move on to number 6. And so at number 6, we have the Ebony Armor. So once again, a regular lootable one, so not a unique set or anything like that. This one, once again, we've got all 5 matching parts, and we have an armor value of 70, so moving up a significant step above the last one. This one is, like I said, since it's a regular non-unique suit, it will just be one that you'll have to loot or buy. And as far as getting your hands on it that way, it starts entering leveled lists at level 15, so Marauder Warlords in places like Fort Nickel or Fort Deedric will often carry multiple pieces of ebony armor, and so all of your regular bandits and marauders and such that will carry leveled gear will start carrying ebony gear once you get to level 15. You can also shop hop every 48 hours between Hammer and Tongs and the Best Defense to finish the set quickly, so all you have to do is make sure you're at least level 15, and then you can go to Hammer and Tongs and Best Defense and see if they've got any, and then if they don't, or if they do, you can buy it. If they don't, you then just wait 48 hours and do it again, and you can pretty quickly get a full suit of ebony armor in that way. So that's number 6, the ebony armor. Let's move on to number 5. At number 5, we have a special variant of the ebony armor, which is Umbra's ebony armor, and you can see that stat-wise we're the same and appearance-wise we're the same, but we're a little bit better all around. So as far as stats on this one, you can see our armor value is still at 70, but it actually weighs a little bit less than the ebony set, and that's why I put Umbra's set ahead of the ebony set, because, you know, if you can get the same armor value for a little bit less weight, that's an obvious improvement. As far as getting your hands on this one, you just have to enter Vindicel, which you can find right here where I'm showing you on the map. So it's just outside of the Imperial City. If you head down to this location in Vindicel and make it all the way to the end, you will find Umbra. And then, of course, if you're early game, you can lead Umbra into the city and let the guards kill Umbra for you. Otherwise, if you're late enough where you can actually handle the fight yourself, you just kill Umbra and you take both a sword that is special and this suit of armor. You want to do this at least level 15, because then it is exactly the same stats as standard ebony armor, but like I said, it weighs a little bit less. So you can get yourself a full suit of special ebony armor that weighs a little bit less than normal ebony armor at level 15 fairly simply in that method. So that's number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have the Deedric Armor. So this is another set that is non-unique or quest-related, so you can just get your hands on it through all of the normal methods. You can see we have a full matching set, and when wearing that full matching set, we have a total armor value of 79. So 9 points higher than the ebony stuff. So with that being said, if you want to get your hands on it, this will start appearing on bandit/marauder bosses at level 20 or higher. If you want to just go about the regular organic loot method, if you're doing the main story quest and you're taking out Oblivion gates, you'll find it on a lot of the enemies that you'll find through the Deedric gates, so the Daedra and the chests and stuff inside them. Otherwise, during the Boethia's Shrine quest, Gladiator of the Ten Bloods, each arena foe will wear a Deedric set of some sort, and as long as you're looting them, you can easily get at least one full set of Deedric armor between all of the different rounds. And Varnado, at the Best Defense, begins selling Deedric pieces once you get to level 22. So it's not actually that hard to get your hands on a set of it. In fact, once you get above level 22, in my experience, it becomes one of the most common loots to find, especially if you're fighting higher level enemies. So that is the Deedric Armor at number 4. Let's move on to number 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the Heavy Armor of Order, and normally this is one that'll come from a Shivering Isles Deluxe DLC quest line, but I'm going to be showing you one that, well, I mean, I assume it's still associated with it, but since we're playing the Remastered Edition, we all have access to it right away at the beginning of the game, which I will show you. But you can see we have 5 matching pieces. Keep in mind there are 2 different variants of the Armor of Order. There's a light variant and a heavy variant. Visually, they don't look very different, if at all. I'd have to look side by side real quick, but they look super similar, if not exactly identical. But stat-wise, they're obviously different. So this one has a rating of 79, which is the same as Deedric Armor. I placed it ahead of it because I think it looks better than Deedric Armor. I've never been a fan of the Oblivion Deedric Armor, well, or the Skyrim stuff, to be quite frank. I don't really like the way the Deedric Armor looks. Definitely doesn't fit my armor sensibilities. This one, for the most part, does. I don't like the wings on the helmet. They're goofy, but other than that, I like the way this armor looked. But yes, getting your hands on this stuff is actually not too hard. If you just want to do it the way I did, all you have to do is do a quest that you can get right away at the beginning of the game. So where I got this one, it's Saving Time Itself is the quest name. I got access to this right outside of Kvatch, right at the beginning of the game. The guy was standing there and I talked to him, and I just had to run around and do a little bit of, you know, really easy missions for him. And then afterwards I went back and talked to him, and again, I could just request whatever I wanted. I requested a full suit of light armor, a full suit of heavy armor, and all of the weapons he had available, and he just gave them to me as the reward. So you can very easily get this right away at the beginning of the game. And it's not a difficult quest. So that is number 3. Let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have the Heavy Armor of the Crusader, which also has 79 armor value, so it's tied with the Deedric and the Heavy Armor of Order. But that being said, aesthetically speaking, I like this stuff way more than either of those 2 sets, which is why it took the number 2 spot despite having the same stats. So you can see that we do have a matching set. As far as getting your hands on this one, you have to do the Knights of the Nine storyline, which is a short quest chain of a couple different quests. It's a couple story quests and then a half dozen ones where each one is where you're going around collecting a different piece of this suit of armor. So as far as that goes, you can get the helm at Vanua, which is a sunken Aelid rune, during the quest The Shrine of the Crusader. Then the cuirass can be done during the Priory of the Nine, after the Ghost Duel, where you will duel the different Knights of the Nine. The boots can be obtained through Kirineth's Grove Trial, which is where you let a bear beat you up for a little bit, and then you go into a cave and you can pick it up. The gauntlets you can get at the Chapel of Stendar in Coral. There you have to cure a guy of a curse, and then you can just pick him up off the floor. And the greaves you get after you defeat Sir Beric in Fort Bulwark. When you equip the set, it auto-converts to heavy if your heavy armor skill is higher than your light armor. So keep in mind, if you want the heavy armor variant, you are going to need a higher heavy armor skill than the light armor skill, or you will automatically get the light variant. So that is number 2, the Heavy Armor of the Crusader. Like I said, aesthetically speaking, I love this set. It has, in my opinion, for heavy armor, the best aesthetics other than possibly the Blackwood set, just because it actually looks like fairly realistic real-world armor, and I like that. So that's number 2. Let's move on to number 1. And finally, at number 1, we have the perfect variant of the Madness Armor, which you can see that we're wearing here. If you have the perfect variant, because there are several different levels at which you can get this armor, if you have the perfect set all complete, you will have a total armor value of 83, making it, as far as I know, the best heavy armor in the game. It has tremendously good stats and makes you just incredibly well defended. Aesthetically speaking, I like it more than the Deedric Armor because it has basic armor form, but it's definitely really wild on the fantasy elements. I think it looks alright. I absolutely do not hate it, I think is the expression I would like to use for the perfect Madness Armor. As far as getting your hands on that suit of armor, this is from the Shivering Isles DLC. So you will have to do the quest The Antipodian Hammer. Once you've done that, you can collect Perfect Madness Ore, which drops from Golden Saints or Grumites at level 25+, and you'll also need a Madness Matrix for each slot. Once you have 3 Perfect Madness Ores and 1 Matrix per each piece that you're going to need forged, you bring that to Cutter's Forge in the Crucible, return 24 hours later to claim each finished item. So this is one that does take a little bit of work to get your hands on, but considering it's the best heavy armor stat-wise in the game, you know, it kind of makes sense. So that is number 1, and that brings us to the end of this list. So I hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful. If you have any specific comments, questions, concerns, if you disagree with my ranking, or if you have any video requests for any other Oblivion topics, please let me know down in the comment section below. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.